Now we'll start with DBMS. DBMS. What is DBMS? DBMS stands for Database Management System. DBMS, Database Management System. And there is a special kind of DBMS called Relational Database Management System or RDBMS. RDBMS. MySQL is an RDBMS program. Then there is a special kind of database called Relational Database Management System. MySQL is one of the RDBMS programs, RDBMS application. Okay, MySQL is a very powerful and free software. MySQL is a powerful software, agreed, and it's a free software. When you applied for ITA admission, your data, the entire data you entered was saved in a database created using MySQL. It's a powerful tool. You can use it for productive usage and you need not pay any money for using MySQL. It is a consortium. It's the non-profit consortium. It has been taken over by MariaDB. MySQL has now become MariaDB. Oracle, a large company for database management. Oracle is the owner of MySQL right now. Okay, ma, we shall go into data and database management. First, we should have some data for entering into the table. Therefore, they define data. Data is defined as information collected for particular purpose. You can store data, you can retrieve data, you can store data and retrieve data using relational database management tools or RDBMS tools. Okay, normally we use only RDBMS. There are some other types of database management systems. We are not going too deep into them. We will simply learn what the other alternatives are. Then data may be in the form of digital or text or numbers. It can be text or numbers. Text is name, place and other things, and numbers and dates. Numbers, dates, they have missed dates, and it can be stored in tables. Data is always stored in tables. Do you remember the commands? Create database, create table. You used these two commands for creating a database and then using the database. Use database name. Then create table with some column names and data types. Then, okay. Then data can be related to financial transactions. You may deposit money, receive money, withdraw money, or send money. All these financial transactions, when entered in proper format, are called accounting. When data is maintained for financial transactions, the data is categorized as accounting information. Accounting information. Okay. Some database management tools are also available. Software packages for managing data are available. Okay. Information. Okay. Details collected about an object. Okay. This is repetition. And the information can be stored in any device, any storage device. It can be hard disk, it can be pen drive, it can be SD card, it can be DVD, CD, or whatever else. Whereas the information stored in any media should be retrievable. It means when you place the information, you should be able to get it back. That is one of the most basic requirements. When you place the information and the information is lost, you end up with loss of data. There is loss of data and it may be very dangerous. When data is lost, it may be very dangerous. Consider very large databases run by banks and Reserve Bank of India. They contain details about crores and crores of money. The information is very vital. They cannot miss even a single record. Okay. Therefore, storage is one aspect. Retrieval, they guarantee that the data stored in a disk or whatever format may be retrieved is another important aspect for storage of information. Then databases. Okay, database is the system for creating tables. Database contains several tables, and tables contain several columns. Columns contain rows of data. Then the hierarchy is you create a database, then you create a table, then you create some rows of data information. You enter rows of data. Storage and retrieval of digital data in digital format is called database. Okay. Then database can be stored in a single computer or multiple computers. It's possible for database to be split into several hard disks and several computers. It's possible, and even over internet, even over computers connected through the network. Then okay, it's easy to store and retrieve data using database management systems. Then, what are the types of databases available right now? In the previous days, they started with a navigational system or hierarchical system, which is similar to our MS-DOS. MS-DOS has got directories in which files are stored. Similar to that, they have started with a navigational file system in which databases and tables are equivalent to directories and files. They stored data in several navigational databases, whereas they ended up with too many complications. They could not retrieve the data. You will store the data, whereas you will not know where the data is available for retrieval. You may lose when the data becomes very large. The data cannot be retrieved very easily. Therefore, another scientific system called relational database system was designed by Edgar Card. Edgar Card. He was an employee of IBM Computers. Edgar Card. IBM is attributed with the first desktop computers. It created the first desktop computer in 1985, and IBM is the company which pioneered the database revolution. They have created the relational database management system, RDBMS system. Edgar Card. He created RDBMS in 1970. Okay, and a special language for working with databases was also created. It was called SQL. They sometimes call it SQL. They sometimes call it SQL. I call it SQL. It's your choice. You can call it anyway. It can be SQL. It can be SQL. I call it SQL. Okay, structured query language. SQL stands for structured query language. Can you repeat once more? Structured query language. Once more. Structured query language. 2 marks. They need not. What is it? We need not hesitate to repeat it any number of times. SQL stands for structured query language. Okay. It's a special language designed for working with relational database management system, RDBMS. Then object-oriented database system. Oops. Object-oriented database system. What is an object? Instead of considering a table, you create a class of objects, a class, a database. When you create a database, you can store several tables inside the database. Similar to that, you create a class. You create a class and create objects for the class. What is a class? A class is like a mold. Idli kunda, idli settle. It's the mold. You create several idlis. Similar to that, you have a mold in the form of an object in the form of a class. Then you create any number of objects for the class. Incidentally, we are going to look into OOPs in the practical portion also. Therefore, objects and instances, they call the classes and instances. Instances are called objects. Okay, I'll explain it later with some more detail, and we will work with the real objects in JavaScript. Okay, then what's an object-oriented database management system? OODBMS. It is the system in which all information is stored in the form of objects, instead of tables. In SQL or in RDBMS, we store everything in the form of tables. Whereas in OODBMS, we store everything in the form of objects. Okay. OODBMS. Can we repeat the name? Object-oriented database management system. Repeat once more. Object-oriented database management system. Once more. Object-oriented database management system. Yes, RDBMS. It was created in 1990, whereas it's not so popular as RDBMS. Even till now, even today, RDBMS is the best platform for storing our information. All the banking transactions, all the booking transactions we carry out through IRCTC or any ticket booking app is stored in the form of RDBMS data, RDBMS tables, because there are certain flexibilities and certain regulations available under RDBMS. You store anything, you will get it with guarantee, and it's fast, easy to get the data back using SQL. You have also used SQL. Create database is an SQL statement. Create table is an SQL statement. Select star from is an SQL statement. Update some field, it is an SQL statement. Then add user, delete user, all those things are SQL statements. Create user, drop user, all those are also SQL statements. Therefore, SQL provides all the facilities needed for a complete data management system. Okay. Then NoSQL. When you say God, there is one group called what? Atheist. When there are devotees, there are some groups of people called atheists, isn't it? Similar to that, some people believe that RDBMS is the best system for database management. Whereas for some people, RDBMS is a hindrance, is a difficulty for their purpose. Why? Because RDBMS is a bit slow. Why? It has got certain regulations through which all information is subjected. It takes a bit of time for processing, whereas they want it to be fast. When you send some data through WhatsApp, there is no necessity that the data should be retrievable. If you lose some data, there is no harm. You send some information through Facebook. You post some photos through Facebook. If there is a loss of the photo, nobody is going to bother about it. Even the sender need not bother about posting the photo and getting it branding it to be a lost photo. No problem at all, because they are trivial data. They are trivial data. Trivial means non-important. Trivial means non-important. NoSQL is mainly meant for social media applications. NoSQL is mainly meant for social media applications like WhatsApp, Facebook, Instagram, Telegram. All those things rely upon NoSQL. Why? Because NoSQL is very fast. And the compromise is you may end up losing some data. Nobody is worried about losing data in WhatsApp or Facebook. Let it go. Because it's not important. We do not share any vital data or the data for what is it? Data with so much importance through social media applications. They are mainly meant for blogging or disseminating information about ourselves. We normally, what is it? Send information, post photos, post videos relating to our what? Greatness. Therefore, nothing is lost when some photo or some video or some text is lost. They adopt NoSQL for social media applications. Fast, very fast. Whereas it does not have a structured layout. Therefore, one may end up losing data. Then NewSQL. NewSQL is a combination of SQL and NoSQL. SQL, you can work with SQL if you want. You can work with NoSQL if you want. It's your choice. Whereas nobody is going to use the hybrid system. Many people use only the SQL system or the NoSQL system. These are the two dominant database management systems. One is the SQL system. The other one is the NoSQL system. Okay. Then, shall we stop it here? Concept of DBMS. We shall not go much beyond this. We defined information as detail relating to any particular object or anything any particular theme. Okay, then you can store data in tables and databases and tables. The data can be stored in any media, any hard disk, DVD, CD, pen drive, or whatever media. The only condition is you should be able to retrieve the data when you need it. That is the basic condition. And we have seen that there are some systems for managing databases. One was the hierarchical system. It is no longer used. Hierarchical or navigational system is no longer used. Then relational database management system, RDBMS. You will get 2 marks if you can repeat this. What is it? RDBMS, Relational Database Management System. Repeat. Relational Database Management System. Okay. It supports a language, special language called SQL. SQL, Structured Query Language. Can you repeat? Structured Query Language. They often ask you the full form for RDBMS and the full form for SQL. Okay, structured query language. Then there is object-oriented database management system or OODBMS. OODBMS is object-oriented database management system in which SQL is not needed. Okay. Then there is a system called NoSQL. NoSQL. It provides very fast data storage and retrieval, whereas you may end up losing some data with NoSQL. No problem at all. For social media applications, it's the ideal platform because speed is important for social media platform. If some information is lost, nobody is going to complain about it. Then new SQL, it's a hybrid system. It supports both SQL and NoSQL. Okay, new SQL is a hybrid system. We close theory portion with this, and we will go on to practical. No MCQ.